Hello. Let's just draw, shall we? So last week, Starsky and Hutch, loose, very loose. I'm still in the mood to draw really loose and rough stuff. Loose and rough stuff. Why am I still in the mood? Because I drew Starsky and Hutch about half an hour ago. It's still the same day. Same gear. I could have had a jacket change. You wouldn't have noticed, would you? Uh, so I'm just going to keep drawing loose stuff. Um, Kind of get it out of my system, really. So this could be terrible in terms of how it looks. That's all right. It's going to put loads. If you're a new viewer, check out some of my older videos where I actually do some good drawings. Um, but right now, I'm just in this mood to just sit down and just put marks on paper. I think part of it is that I'm working on some music, and it takes up a lot of your creative brain when you're working on tunes. Um, you find yourself walking around with the tunes in your head and singing them all day long, and I get I get very distant as well. If we go out for a walk, me and my wife, um, I'm lost in the tune. The Very hard to get out of myself and notice the world around you as you're walking, and that it's very much all about the music, uh, in a way that I don't really get with the drawing. Um, if I'm working on a piece that, well, for a start, you've seen what I do. It's very often I draw something and then it's done. Um, I have done the odd thing where I've had to think about what I'm doing and plan it, but I don't really need to. I'm not an illustrator that gets paid, to do pieces for newspapers and stuff. Um, and they require some thoughts. How do you often, how do you reflect what's being put down in words? How do you reflect that in an image? How do you try and get the whole gist of the article across in one image? And if possible, a little bit more as well. Um, and if I was, say, I had a commission pet portrait, something like that, those commissions are usually, please draw this picture. So it's a matter of just copying stuff. So that's all kind of, fairly easy. So art isn't something that has me thinking away from the paper. I will do all of my thinking here at the desk. But with music, you come up with an idea for a song, and you just walk around all day with a tune in your head, and you're trying out different ways of framing it, like two verses in the chorus, one verse, chorus, verse, second verse shorter, should it be longer? How does this melody sound? You're singing it in your head. What about the lyrics? Does that lyric make sense? What is the song about, even? Especially if you've come up with the music first, which is what's happening with me at the moment. So all that you're thinking about, and it's constantly there, constantly. It's not always fun. You want to get this thing out, and also in your head, you know it's good, or you think it's good. So you're hoping that it remains good when you record it. Now there's an element of that in art for me. Not in this one. I'm not even thinking about this. With a tune, with art as well, you have generally an idea of what your drawing's going to look like, and you want it to be good. But the difference, I think, is that I don't always think of myself as good enough to make it good. There's a level that my drawing's at which I'm comfortable with and is good, can be good. If you disagree, you're welcome to comment. But with music, I generally know that I can make something good. And so the interesting challenge there is how I make it good. I know I can make it good. I don't always know in the moment how to make it good. I usually know how to make it good by getting out of the house and going for that walk. And that's where all the thinking takes place. So music is more, it consumes the mind a lot more than the process of making music consumes the mind a lot more than, for me, the process of drawing, because I'm generally not drawing stuff in the way that maybe trained artists will often draw stuff that's about something else. And my songs can be like that. I can write a song that sounds like a love song, but it's not. It's about a different subject, or vice versa. And I think artists will often sit down and think, right, I want to make a piece of art about inequality, social justice, things like that. And they'll sit down and they'll work it out. And an illustrator would do as well. Which kind of why I think I used to like Grayson Perry, but now his approach to that just seems to be writing the words that you may jot down while you're thinking about these things. If you're writing about like Britain, you might write down inequality, football, Tories, Labour, all that. Grayson Perry's art now these days just to be like putting those words on a jug. He's quite a good drawer as well. It's a shame, quite a waste, I think. Anyway, but my drawing isn't any of that. I'm not, this portrait here, which you probably worked out is of Rory Stewart. If you want to do a wobbly drawing, start off with a wobbly face. Can't get it wrong then. But this portrait here, I'm not thinking about it at all, really. Just kind of drawing. I'm on autopilot. This video is more about my thoughts about music, really. Didn't know it was going to be about that till I started talking. So I've lost my thread now. You get my point though. Music is all consuming when I'm making it. and you know it consumes me when I'm away from the actual instruments, and you know I'm thinking about it when I'm going to work, I'm thinking about it at work, when I'm out and about, I've got the tunes going around in my head. Whereas this Rory Stewart drawing, I didn't know I was going to do it until 2 minutes before I started drawing it, and I won't think about it again the minute I've stopped making it. And that's another thing with my music, with the tune. You stop, once it's finished, it's still in your head for a day or so, that music. And it's a weird process as well. Recording it, writing it and recording it is just part of the process. There's then the mixing process. Now when I record music, it's often being mixed as I go along, because it's all just me on my own. But once that bit is done, the creation bit's done, you're then listening to it in your car, on headphones, on as many different places, and on as many different things as you can do, to make sure, well, does that mix sound right? Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? Is the bass too loud? Are the hi-hats too tinny? All that sort of stuff. So, you know, the song takes ages to leave your head. Whereas this drawing will be forgotten about very quickly. And maybe this video will as well. But this is just the drawing. I mean, is it weird now? Am I drawing for the purpose of the video, or just for myself? Purpose of drawing? Probably a bit of both. There's my brush pen. There it is. But I do find drawing, as much as I love doing it, because of how I do it, it's quite ephemeral. And these sketchbooks rarely get looked at, so that's interesting. My music, I'm one of these people who will listen to my own music now and again. I think, well, if I don't like it, no one else is going to like it. Don't always feel that way about my arts. Art very often is a way of passing the time that's pleasant. Making music is that as well, but I feel that I have to make it. I have certain standards in music. Not sure I've got them in arts. I don't know. What's making me chuckle here is that it's very wonky, but it does look like Rory Stewart. Hi, I'm Rory Stewart. It's American. Speech bubble. That's Tipex, that speech bubble bit. That speech bubble made it a proper drawing now to me. I don't know if that makes sense. It does to me. Do you prefer Rory Stewart or his brother Rod? I'd like to know. Both famously Scottish. There we go. It's weird this now because I'm thinking, oh, I could do some detailing in the background, and you start improving on what you've got and actually turning it into a thing, whereas it really was a lot of messing about. So I can just start going in. My pen's running out, I think. Is it? Maybe not. Maybe it is. Just using the back of the nib. Be a little bit ink in that bit. I feel like it's gonna go. But this, what I'm doing now, is an interesting little lesson about drawing and music. Finish it. Does it look finished? No, I wasn't really bothered until I added that speech bubble. And then you think, that actually starting to look like a thing rather than just an idle portrait. I feel like the ink's on its way out, but I can't tell. This nib's a bit uncomfortable with this ink. So sometimes it just feels slightly blocked. There. I'm actually gonna do that as well. Yeah, this nib doesn't like it if I go quickly. I think it's because it's a fine nib and kind of that doesn't fill up with ink as well the quicker you go. I'm not really sure. Gonna go again. Fairly broad lines. So funny because it is starting to, become a thing. So today, in terms of release dates, it is, let me check the calendar, it will be the 17th of July, and England will be, men's England football team will be the champions of Europe. That's my prediction. Is it actually my prediction? No, it's not. I don't think we're even in the final. I think the Netherlands have knocked us out. Our weaknesses are finally being exposed. But I could be wrong, and I hope we're wrong. They do appear to be playing like a team who doesn't know how to lose, but also doesn't know how to win. That's it. They don't know how to win, but they do know how not to lose. There's a subtle difference there. I think that's a pretty good quality to have, so I may be wrong. maybe we will win it. You can win it playing badly. Certainly. We've certainly been playing badly. Rory Stewart. Why am I drawing Rory Stewart? He's an interesting man. He's a good writer. He really is a good writer. I've only read one of his books, but The Marches, it was called, and it was very good. I do mean to read his latest one about his time in government. But I can't say I'm a fan in terms of, his politics and that. Don't want to go too deep into that. But I'm slightly more to the left than he is. Raving socialist. Massive como. Me. Como? Commie. I don't know if I am. Anyway. Was not expect to be drawing Rory Stewart. This is another thing I talk about, artists who have a plan. I barely even have a plan for these YouTube videos. I'm like, oh God, I've got to make a video. Literally, I try to film them in advance. Obviously, they're in advance, they're not live. But I try to have a few. And at one point, I had like 6 videos for the next 6 weeks, all loaded onto YouTube, just ready to release. No, that is great. Fantastic, that. And it's caught up with me now. So I've just done my Starsky and Hutch one, and that's coming out like 3 days from now as I'm drawing. And then it's this one, so I'm going to have two in the pipeline. Got all this messy ink, I love it. My hand, look at my hand. Oh. So yeah, I would say that if you're able to film stuff keep to a schedule and have a good 5 or 6 weeks in advance, you can plan what you're going to be doing. You've got time to work things out. Right, well, the next video I do is going to have this theme. Whereas I'm like, oh God, who shall I draw? Rory Stewart, we just had an election. He's been around a bit. I'll draw him. So maybe I should come up with a plan. Some sort of theme for my next videos. Sometimes though, I don't even know what style I'm going to be drawing in. This hatching style drawing that I'm doing has become a thing in what I do fairly recently. Doing a lot of it. Not sure why. Really don't know. Kind of started when I was doing my monthly Patreon zine, and seems to have become a thing for me. That just needs to be black, I think. Here we go. Right, let's do Rory's other side here. His jackets. So this is now turning into a long video. I thought it was going to be another short one. And I'm looking at my clock. It's about 25 minutes so far. Feel free to fast forward. You probably watch it on double speed anyway, don't you? If you are still watching, you have any drawing requests, let me know in comments. You know I generally do portraits, so don't go asking for a Jim will paint it style Brian Blessed wrestling with Alan Titchmarsh, please. Okay. Or maybe I should do that. Is this YouTube's only Rory Stewart portrait video? I think it could be. This channel's got a lot of firsts on it. I've done the only Jan Leeming portrait video. Probably as well the only Jeremy Hunt portrait video. I've noticed I've painted, drawn 2 Tory MPs, one former, on this channel. And no one from any of the other parties. Not sure why. It's just how it is. Hi, I'm Rory Stewart. That's how he talks. He's scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. Not very happy with this cardigan thing. He's doing that thing that I don't like seeing, like football managers do it as well. He's got his shirt on, he's got a cardigan or a like quarter zip jumper, and then suit jacket on top of his jumper. I do not like that. It just feels wrong. It feels wrong. I don't think you should be wearing a jumper underneath your suit jackets. And it says young farmer. He's just going for the farmers' votes, that's it. Do I do anything in the background? I'll tell you what, let's get some shadow on here. What I quite like about using this pen in the wrong way almost, being so quick that the ink can't catch up, you get a different shade of black. You get more of a grey going on. That's quite nice. Doing those cross hatches there kind of looks less natural. Cross hatching on this works because it's an artificial material. It's man-made fibre, but this, your hatches are better if they follow contours. And the minute you do cross hatches. There's nothing natural about that. So, not as successful there. It should really be one way or the other, I think. Cross hatching again up there. Have I finished? Have I finished this? Start looking at the picture. I'll look at the drawing instead. And is that finished? Oh, you know what? Some colour. This would work with a bit of colour behind it. I don't always follow the lines, but I feel like following the lines would and does work for this. And what I love about this now is that I've taken that really loose sketch where I had no plan and really was just messing about, and I've made it into a thing. It's become an actual piece. Now that's the beauty of art, is that it can surprise you. And it really did. This portrait crept up on me. Let's do that there. Seeing it on screen, I like it. So there we go. They're very wonky and interesting Rory Stewart's, and that's a drawing that I've snatched victory from the jaws of defeat there. I'm really pleased with that. You should try drawing Rory Stewart. Yeah, I don't think you can get him wrong. See you next week.